Yo, what's up, guys? It's Luca Tuflo here, and today we're going to be speaking on traveling and how it can open your mind, how it can open yourself to new perspectives on how to live life, how you want to live your life, how kind of design from knowing more from traveling and the experiences that gives you. So to get started, when I mean traveling, I don't mean about going to places to see them, going places to, just traveling for vacation, traveling to get drunk somewhere, to party somewhere. You most likely will have those experiences, but more going with traveling for more of intention to explore yourself, explore a new world, a new culture, and I highly recommend this. So, um, living abroad just changes your life. It really does. It gives you new perspectives, and it really shows you like a different version of yourself. So, based on my experience, and I kind of just want to share this because I want to explain how this opened my eyes and how it helped me see that there's just not just one way of living, like here in the U.S. of just trying to make money, quick success, being distracted all the time, kind of being on that autopilot, and incorporating, more efficient productivity, being able to be more present in life and with people around you, and to be aligned on and being and doing the actions and productivity that is aligned with what things that you want to build and what you really want to do. So, to get started, I just want to know, like, before my life, like, kind of realizing all this, and really realized this when I came back to the U.S. And but before, I was living life on autopilot. I was chasing success. I was chasing money. I was chasing that kind of lifestyle that's portrayed on Instagram, or just or what I thought, what I had on my feed, or something like that. And either that or just really kind of putting on an image for the expectations that my environment had for me, um, and kind of going deeper than that means like your parents and what they kind of expect you to be, or your friends who they think you are. Obviously, the friends and the people that you grow up with, they are going to always kind of treat you of how they met you and how the experiences they had with you. So you can't always go through life with everyone. Obviously your mom and your parents are going to always be there, but that's why sometimes it's you ever feel like you change when you go see an old friend, or you go see that, um, you change back to that kind of like yourself, or you feel kind of guilty for acting in the new you, or not the new you but the you are now. And you kind of have similar things that happen with your parents when you go back home that don't really happen anywhere else, but they used to happen. So that's what I mean. So if you kind of just confine to your comfortable environment, and you feel unhappy or you feel stuck, this is the perfect moment for you to just kind of really be present in life and see if you can actually take this opportunity to get some money together, and go travel. First of all, it is take some funds to go do it. If you can go for a month anywhere, I would start maybe with the cheaper places first, Thailand or something like that, Bali. Just meeting people out there is amazing. And but my experience was in Barcelona. I lived there for about 2 years, so I really got to live in adulthood over there. I have been to Spain before. My family's from there, but this was a whole new thing. Barcelona was whole new to me. It's a different Spanish culture. So I got to kind of reinvent myself, and that's the best part about it. It's like when I went to Spain, it was quite scary. I knew that I was gonna be there for more than a year, and I was afraid that I was gonna come back because I was kind of scared of not being able to make it on my own. But I spent the rest of my savings going there, and ended up studying there. But it was probably one of the most, now looking back at it, influential moments of my life. It really helped me see that there isn't just one way of living. There's not just one way of having to go wake up in the morning, go hustle at work it, and there is seasons for that. I am a big adamant person of, um, working hard and working towards what you really want, and everything will take effort. Anything that is big or that's going to be good in your life, you need to put some effort to build it, right? Um, but there's different ways to do it, and there's different ways you can design the path to get there that is fulfilling for you, and every person is different, right? So um, yeah, like I said before, that I was on autopilot, and I never really questioned it. So when I got to Barcelona, what really stood out to me was just a new country and a new culture, and I was like the really setting feeling of, you know, maybe I could live here or something for the rest of my life, and or whatever. But um, the most important thing was the different pace of life. Of course, if people, you know, you've been to Spain, if you vacation there, you know that people are a lot slower there in their pace of life. They tend to walk a lot more places. Their community, the relationships with people is a lot more authentic and pure. It's a big sense of community there. That's one thing that I learned just being there, is that I want to choose truly in my life, that I want to have, is just having people close to me and having friends, and being able to enjoy experiences together by even just the simpler things that they do in Spain, like going to get a coffee, going to get a beer in the evening, and go chat it up, after work, because in Spain it's like, yeah, people go to work, and after they get off work, their life actually starts from there. So it's like, they go to dinner with their friends, they go sit down, and it's not expensive. It's there's a bunch of little spots and stuff. There's so many things to do. Spain is very active as well. Uh, Very active in the meaning of being active, like being fit, being able to take care of yourself, and so they put a lot of emphasis on that, and just having a more quality of present life within the lifestyle they choose to have. So um, I would say that's more of like different priorities they have. So I think that there's different things that I took away from that, which was, yeah, I came from America and I took my things that I had from that I like from here, and I lived there. So now I want to incorporate, and because I just see everyone around here like rushing and just like not actually living their life, and just like working towards things that don't matter, or caring about things that don't matter. And one thing that I really learned from there was just being able to know things that, or know, like, in a way, like when I came back, it was like, wow, like there was a lot of things that I was doing that I never truly actually I was wanting to do. Um, so it made me reflect on really like what was really meaningful to me. And so, yeah, I wanted to make money. Money is a big factor in my life, because I want to, be able to have the flexibility and freedom, and family. I think there's different ways of doing it by, really building an idea and getting um, pulled towards a a lifestyle. There's always going to be hard parts about building something. So, like I said before, um, but yeah, I really got shook by, um, you know, the slower living versus the hustle culture here. Um, I think the hustle culture is very good, but it doesn't allow people to enjoy their life as they should. Um, I think hustle culture has gotten to an extreme where people are just seeing this kind of lifestyle online, and they just want the quick success, and they think they can just get it real quick, and that these 80 to 120-hour work weeks are what's going to get them to a place of fulfillment, and those feelings that they're waiting for at the end, at their success, is going to really complete their life. But I've been there, and it's just like it's unfulfilling. It doesn't there's always the next thing, as I should say. And I think hustling is very good if you are working towards something that is fulfilling for you. If you are hustling for a good reason and a meaningful reason for yourself, um, that will really be the the best thing you could use from that culture. And then the slower living in Spain. What can you take from that? You know, slower living in these different countries where, you know, if you go to Thailand or Eastern Asia or stuff like that, they tend to have a big community of just enjoying the simpler things with, you know, simple experiences around them with people around them that they love, and that's what fulfills them, you know. And I think that if you kind of step away for a second and be present and give yourself, you know, go for a 10-15 minute walk, think about really like, where is all this stuff really stemming from that I'm doing right now? Is it because I need to keep up an image, or is it because, you know, I need to prove someone wrong? But yeah, it allows you to see, traveling really allows you to see outside of that and see kind of how you were coming to conform to doing certain things, of certain living a certain way. um, and that's really the biggest one is just realizing that there isn't just one way of living. um, so uh, I would say like, uh, one of the biggest ones was meeting other people, and being able to expand your relationships into different cultures is probably the biggest one for me. People with different backgrounds. I went to an international business school there, so it was amazing. I mean, I met people from. I made friends with, you know, a guy from Madagascar. I met a friend from, you know, I got a couple friends from Brazil, Italy, Norway, Germany. So it was cool just seeing all these different, you know, backgrounds that I was able to see, you know, how they lived and how they really thought about life. And you kind of get to see and start to pick and choose of what you really truly like from those different perspectives that they have, and you start asking questions, and you start getting interested in one way of living and another, and then really start to see what you really like. And so I really thought that, you know, I started getting tired of not being able to the make money in Spain, and I really wanted to come back here, so, and build, just to get into finance or something and build a career, and, start making money and be stable and safe. But it never was gonna fulfill me. So I really realized that, incorporating this kind of slower life allowed me to see that, and allowed me to reflect on really who I was before, and what kind of identity I've built that really didn't come from a place of sincerity within me. So, um, yeah, actually become more open. You become more adaptable. You become more open to different opportunities and different perspectives. You get offered an opportunity that you might think that back home with your environment, that that might have been stupid, but you actually take it now because you travel for a bit, so you know what other stuff is out there. There's a lot more out there. So, um, and it could change your life. You can meet a relationship out there, or whatever. Uh, get an opportunity to go to a different country and work there, and your life will just take you from there, and you'll find something fulfilling that comes from it. So, it's not all about the money or fame or success and status, and making sure that you're stable and safe, because those, of pains that you don't want to go through. But in reality, if you can just start to be and just live from, presently right now, that's the best thing that I took from Spain. And just live with just like things that just you have right now, and that don't, that's gonna allow you to be yourself the most, by just stop trying to figure out what's gonna be your best option or best path for yourself. It'll come naturally, um, and that all happened while traveling. So, um, the next point I have here is, you know, distance really creates self-reflection. So when you're forced out of your environment, and now you're in a different country. You don't have the same things around you or the same people, so you're, people are starting to treat you differently, and um, treat you as a person to person. You can kind of create whoever you want. So you're away from these expectations, and a way of being of comparing yourself to what you thought was a way of living back home. But now it doesn't really matter, because you've kind of seen that, because you've gone out of your home country. um, but just a way of bringing space into your life, and to slow down for a second, just be like, okay, let me why do I really do these kind of things, or why am I like this? Where did this come from? Because honestly, I don't like this about myself, so where is it coming from? And why don't I like this part of myself? Or why don't I like, why am I afraid to do these certain things? So that is the biggest that was like the biggest, I would say, like, plus from just traveling, is the self-reflection part, and just like, who you really want to be and stuff like that. So um, like, for me, it was just like, who am I without the pressure in my head all the time, of people in my head, the friends, the parents, the work, or the community, the city, of having to be a certain someone or whatever. um, and really figure out what kind of life feels right for me, because the distractions are crazy here in America. Like, everywhere, it's just consumerism at its biggest. So especially just on the phone, the media, everything is just there to want us to buy the next thing, or just become an image that, in reality, is just what someone just posted a picture of, just of one part of their life, but really isn't true of who they really are, and what's going on in their real life. So um, and just kind of conforming to that, you'll see someone's life on Instagram, and you might want that, but you really know that that's really you might not know that that's not it, because when you get there, there's nothing fulfilling about it. The only time you're going to be able to have fulfillment is just when you're living and being, and just able to let yourself to be conscious and analyze your thoughts of what's going through and what's going out. um, but yeah, that was the biggest thing. That was like the identity shift for me. Is like, no one knows you, no one knows your past, no one knows anything about you, so you can kind of create whoever you want to be. And that was the best thing. Like, I knew kind of a little bit who I wanted to be. I knew a little bit, and that was the best thing. Like, I see that now from just leaving Barcelona, but I did that naturally, just being there, without even knowing that it kind of forces you. That's what I'm saying. You're not um, thinking about these things, but it naturally just forces you to do this. And that's why I'm like, traveling, man. That shit, that's the best thing, just uh, traveling, but with intention and without trying to escape something that that you might need to put some work in. But um, yeah, I started creating new routines, new habits, new lifestyles, and I've always landed on health and wellness, and that's something that I realized, and I'm just gonna start doing that. So, um, realizing that you can really change the identity. It does take work and stuff like that, but once you realize that you can do that, it's a whole nother ball game. It's like, you can become whoever you want. You can become really whoever you want. Just, and you start getting pulled towards it, instead of like having to force yourself towards something that doesn't align, or just an image that you think you have to portray. Your ego is protecting you from, because we all have pains from our past, and we all are trying to protect ourselves. Our ego is trying to protect ourselves from having those pains again. So we try to build a life based on those pains, and that's why midlife crises happen. So um, traveling will help you open your eyes a little bit through that. So my next point is just being able to adapt. Like, I came to Dallas, and I didn't really. It wasn't the biggest thing for me. Wasn't even I wasn't even fearful of this coming here or anything. It was more of just like the moving process that I was just like annoyed. But other than that, like, I was able to adapt super quick, super quick. I mean, with a couple months, I was able to set myself up. Um, even with low funds and stuff like that, I was able to get myself right, get myself on my feet, and so that really brought like a sense of confidence for myself. And looking back on Barcelona and stuff like that, I was able to really go through a whole new country, speak a different language, make new friends, meet new people, adapt to a new culture, and create another person that I wanted to be. So that was like huge for me. It's just like having that built such a big confidence for me. Um, and That really made me realize what was possible. So like, like seeing all the different career paths and lifestyles, um, that really helped me kind of start to really get grounded for myself. Understand that there's many ways to design my life, design your life. It's not just one way that you think that you have to do. Experiences are, like I said, experiences are really going to help you. The bigger the experience, the bigger you're just going to open your eyes, and that's why I say travel. Um, it's hard to get a big experience in your new home. So I mean, in your old home. Um, but yeah, the traditional path is not the only path. Your home path is not the only path that you know. So just know that there's other opportunities. There's much more to life out there. And um, yeah, so um, the biggest thing from this video is just um, you know go and travel. What you can implement now, from what I can tell you, is implement a slower pace of life for a second. If you don't know or you feel lost, just take your time with it, because the next couple decisions that you make in the next couple months are going to impact where you're going to be at in the next 5 years or the next 3 years. So really take the time. Just take the time. Just release the pressure. Release it. That's what I would say is the best advice, is just release the pressure and just be for a sec. You know, it's quite peaceful and quite fulfilling and quite a sense of harmony, when you're in that state. Um, and you're able to just be more creative of how you want to design your life. And you look at, you start seeing when you start comparing yourself and stuff like that. And that that's just the mind just trying to protect you and stuff like that. So, uh, yeah, really build a life based on alignment instead of build a life on alignment instead of like external validation. So if you're scared because someone else is, what people might think if you just leave somewhere, people might think you're crazy. Then just that's the best time. Just do it, even if it's just an opportunity or somewhere to move across the state or something, new city. You can create whoever you want. So, so to kind of close this out, uh, you know, um, living abroad doesn't change just like where you live and stuff like that. It changes like really your perspective, your identity, the way you live, your thought processes, really what you thought or your beliefs were on life, and what your beliefs were for yourself and just for life in general. So all those limiting beliefs, you start to question them, but you start really seeing them like if they were up above you in like the air or something like that. It's kind of quite crazy. I don't know. Um, but yeah. Um, yeah, so that's the biggest takeaway right there. Um, so this is Two Flow. So really, uh, just think about it. Like the life you have to live right now, if you think that you have to live it, it's really just optional. It's really optional. So yeah, this is Two Flow. I hope I'm getting better at these videos and stuff like that. So I kind of winged this. I just had some points that are topics that I wanted to hit on through this traveling thing. I'll probably make another video after um, a couple more videos on other stuff. But yeah, I'll go deeper into this, because I swear to God, like traveling. Ask anyone who's traveled out there or who's kind of been abroad. Um, Live somewhere for like a month or even two, or as long as you possibly can for a bit, and you'll see that you'll start to it'll start to open your eyes and force yourself to reflect on limiting beliefs and who you really are and stuff like that. So yeah, this is Two Flow. uh, Great little talk, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.